Hello everyone, this is Sue here from Sue's Paper Creations, and I am coming to you from the west coast of Canada on Vancouver Island, and I'm excited to create another creation using some new products from the up and coming catalog. So yeah, let's see who is going to join us today. I am going to be creating with some new sweet products. Nature's Symphony dies and stamps is what I'm going to be using today. They're beautiful. In fact, I am hoping to use these for February's card club because they are so beautiful. That is my plan. I am just hoping that, of course, all of these things will not sell out before it hits February because the papers are gorgeous. You know me, and that I love my greens and my blues. So this Host Suite is just, I love it. It's one that caught my eye right away. So let's see who we've got here today. Oh, we got Australia in the house. Hello. I love the paper. The paper's so pretty, right? Hello, Christine, Donna. Happy New Year. Hope you're doing okay. Let's see here. This is great. I'm glad so many of you have caught me live here today. I was a little late getting on. I do apologize. I was a few minutes late. I had a phone call, and then I ended up having somebody pop in the door just as I was just about to go live. So it just took a few minutes, and here we are. Thank you for the PDF for the Advent calendar. You're so welcome. Making cards from holiday hobby break with Ange McKay. That's amazing. Ange, love Ange. All right, so we are going to have a look at the beautiful papers. I'm actually going to be creating a fun fold for you today using the Nature Walk papers and the Nature Symphony bundle. It is actually a fun fold in which my Stamp It Canadian team was given the directions for this fun fold from a very good friend of mine and a team member, Barb, who posted. She is posting like a little inspirational challenge for everyone on Fridays. Last month I had Crystal, another one of my Stamp It Canadian ladies, who posted layouts. So I don't know what Barb's gonna post, but I know that yesterday she posted this fabulous column card, and so I thought that I would try it with the papers from the Nature's Walk and the dies and stuff from the Host Suite. So we're going to see how it turns out today, okay? I'm going to head on down to my workspace. I have posted pretty much all the information that you guys need to know for January coming up. I have got a lot of things going on in January. It's an exciting start to the year, and I am excited to be jumping in with, of course, the Sweet Bugs. On the list of things, I just want to remind you, there is some deadlines. January the 5th at noon is the last time you can register for my product share, which is going to include papers and ribbons and goodies from the new mini catalog and the new online exclusives that are released on the 6th. So my deadline is noon on the 5th, as well as for my Sweet Bugs monthly class. The January class is going to be with those cute bugs. So registration cuts off on the 5th. So I have to remind you of that, okay? And then let me just put you down here as we look at the papers. I will let you know I do have a couple spots if there is anyone. And it's not going to be helpful for those of you that are across Canada and not local to me, but I do have a birthday party bingo buffet that I am running on Friday the 30th and on Saturday the 31st. Saturday the 31st is full. It is full, full, full. But I still have some time Friday if you want to spend a Friday evening with me and create and stock up on your birthday cards for 2026 and have some fun. So I still have a little bit of time on the Friday. Okay. All right. So let's have a look. I am going to just pull this out. Now, why is this so zoomed in right now? Because I don't want it to be zoomed in. I'm going to play around with this. Something got hit on my computer here. And I'm just going to just see if I can get this out of. It's on Zoom right now, and I don't want it to be on Zoom. Let's see. Oh, hold on. I can zoom it in and out. Okay, I'm going to try and zoom it out. Just don't know why it is not showing up that way that it is on my screen. Let me see. You guys can only see like a little tiny bit here, and that's just not going to do it. Okay. I'm afraid to play with these. Nope, that's me. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, I think we're good now. Okay, I just have to turn you the right side up, okay? So sorry, everyone. There. Okay. I don't know what happened to my camera, but we definitely need to be able to see and it to focus in properly, right? There we go. Okay. So the goodies that we are using today are these beautiful papers. This is the Nature Walk, and you can see right away why I love them with my green and my love for greens and blues. It is just a swirly, beautiful combination of all of the colors that I absolutely love, from Secret Sea all the way up here to Old Olive. We got some pretty peacock in there. I would say, I better get out my colors, but I'd say that might even be Shaded Spruce, Pretty Peacock, Secret Sea. I'd say that's Lost Lagoon. Let's see what we have in here. Oh, maybe it's Cloud Cover. There's a little combination of all of those. So there's everything from as dark as Secret Sea on here to as light as kind of Lost Lagoon and Old Olive and Cloud Cover. So beautiful, isn't it? Opposite side, Secret Sea. Okay, then we have got the blues. We have got Blueberry Bushel, and this looks like a Balmy Blue would be my guess. On the other side, Secret Sea, and probably a little Blueberry Bushel in there, some darkness. Very pretty. Okay, then we've got our Old Olive. We've got some crumb cake in there. Almost looks like some basic beige, but I think that's just a combination of a little bit of crumb cake smeared, Old Olive, and mossy. I love this one. Pretty Peacock. I love that color. So these are going to be fantastic for cutting out dies as well that are within the Nature Walk bundle. That's why I cannot wait to play with it for I think February. I think this is what we're going to be doing. Love that. Love the little script, right? A little neutral sheet, always good to have. And then we've got a couple in here, but I'm going to be using this one today. I love this piece. Has the garden green from like very dark to very light. Love that. So I'm going to be using this piece. And then we've got one that goes from kind of light to dark with the Pretty Peacock as well. And I have seen stamping done on this with Secret Sea across it. Oh my goodness, it looks stunning. I debated on whether to use this sheet or the other one. And then I love this. A little cloud cover and just a little bit, probably Lost Lagoon that looks like going through there. So pretty papers. You can get very creative with them and make some beautiful kind of collage type of cards, as well as scrapbook pages. But we are going to combine it. I've got a little pressed flower here that I decided to pull in. So this texture that I'm using is pressed flowers. I just thought that because we're doing nature, it would look really pretty. And I love the way this looks when it is embossed on our vellum, because it's nice and thick. So I have got this piece, which is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I have got a pretty peacock piece. I think this is going to look really pretty together. And this is 4 by 4. Okay. Now I have to do a little bit of cutting, but I also have to do a card base. So let's start with, I started to get ahead of myself here and do a little bit of prep. But as you can see, how many of this does this happen to? How many of you? As I was doing all my lovely scoring measurements, and I had my scoring blade and I was going back and forth, and then I grabbed a blade here and I went shh, and I didn't want to cut it, but I did. Do you feel my pain? It happens, right? So I am going to cut a backing piece, which you can do some writing on out of this piece. So this will not go to waste, and I will figure out something to do with these folds. It happens all the time, right? Yes, I know. Always happens. Always when I don't want it to, when I'm prepping for something. So I just had to show you that, because you know what? You're not alone. Happens to me all the time. Okay. All right. So let's get our measurements. I'm going to get my cutting blade here. And I know that I am going to need some pieces for a column, and I'm going to use the lighter edge here, I think. Yes, I think I am. I'm going to use the lighter edge. So I'm going to go in at 4 inches from the top, and I'm going to need some pieces. I do want to cut it here. I'm going to need 3 pieces that are 1 by 4. I did write down Barb's instructions here somewhere. I know they are here somewhere. I somewhat remember the measurements, so I think I'm okay. We're going to go with it. Okay, so 1 by 4, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 of them. Okay, that is going to cover up my beautiful columns. And then I had thought about doing this for the base too. I'm going to cut a 4 here as well, and we're going to decide on whether we do I might do this instead. I kind of like the look of that better, to kind of continue with this pattern. Yeah, I'm not going to do this color. I'm going to continue with this instead. Okay. You guys will see what I mean in a minute, and I'll go over the measurements. Okay. Then there is going to be a panel that I'm going to put on the back of this card. And I know that I'm going to want just a little bit of detail. So I'm going to cut an extra 1 1/4 inch strip that I'm going to use to decorate the back. Okay. Now I have to get my cardstock, and hopefully I am going to cut this properly, or score it properly and not cut it. Okay. So I'm going to just refer to the measurements here. I'm starting with a 9 3/4 by 4 1/4 sheet of white cardstock. Okay, that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to cut this down. Did I cut this already to 4 or 9 3/4? I have not. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut that. Then I am getting my cutting blade well out of the way, and I'm going to do a little bit of scoring. Okay. Let's get this sheet out of the way. And this sheet out of the way. Ooh, it would have been nice to have this dark color underneath that. I think I want that. I think I do. I'm going to cut 4 from here. I'm changing my color scheme. And I'm going to go in 4 inches. Okay, I want that piece for my backdrop. It's going to look so good. Okay. All right, so we're going to get rid of that one. And we're going to need all of those pieces. And we're going to need that piece there. And let's do our scoring now. Okay, now that I've got all my cutting done, I'm going to bring this back in and we are going to score it. A series of score lines, and I will post in the description afterwards the actual measurements for doing all the scoring, okay? But I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to use this as my reference. Okay, so we're going to start off at a 1/2 inch, okay? 1/2 inch. We're getting there. And then I need to go to 1/2 inch. I need to add 1 1/4. So that is going to take me to 1 3/4. Okay, so we're going to score at 1 3/4. Like that. Make sure I've got all my measurements right. I do. And then our next score line is going to be at 3. And then we're going to score at 4 1/4. Okay, so there's all our scores. Okay. Now I want to do a little bit of stamping just on these pretty pieces right here. So I'm going to bring them together and I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on here as well as on this piece as well. There, we're going to put those back together like the pattern that they were so that I can stamp them as kind of one sheet. Okay, and I'm going to bring in this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous leaf here. Okay, so I'm going to open this up and I'm going to bring this out and I'm going to condition my stamp a little bit because this is a new stamp and it's photopolymer. So I do like to just rub just an eraser. You can use one of those square adhesive removers if you want, but I just use just a white eraser here and I'm just lightly going over just the surface of these. And the reason why I do that is because when these are manufactured, there's like a smooth surface on them, right? It's just the surface of the photopolymer. And because it's very, very slippery, what happens is when you go to ink them up, the ink just pools on top of the surface instead of stamping nicely the first time. So you can take some scrap paper and you can ink it up and you can stamp it a couple times if that's easier. But I like to just condition it just a little bit with an eraser and then it's good to go like from the first stamp. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that off gently and I'm going to lay that onto my work surface here and I'm going to pick it up with my block. And you may wonder why I'm doing this. Okay, the reason why I'm doing this is because there is this little branch here and there can be a little bit of movement. If I were to put it down on to the block, I may end up manipulating it a little bit. And this stamp actually coordinates with a die. So you want to make sure that it's taking its true form. And the best way to do that is just to let it be, put it upside down like that, and then stick it onto your block. Okay, and then you're going to get the true way that the stamp sits. Okay. All right, I need a scrap piece of paper. I'm just going to grab one that I used from yesterday. You may notice the stamp that I used yesterday. It was the Aspen Grove. It was amazing, wasn't it? So I'm kind of sticking with the nature's theme. If you did not see the card from yesterday, oh, I loved it. Love the way it turned out. I'm thinking that these are a little bit off, just slightly. Just trying to see if this one goes here. Maybe. Yep, I think that one goes there, and then this one goes here. I think that looks right. You're not going to notice because it's a swirly pattern, but I think that's the way that they were together. So that's what I'm going to go with. Okay, I'm going to grab my garden green, and this is the color that's prominent in this paper, and this is actually just a lighter tone of garden green. So I thought it would be really pretty to stamp this across here. And these are going to go onto the columns. Okay, and see how beautiful those stamp. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. Okay, I'm going to put those aside. And I am going to stamp on here as well. And this is going to go onto the back of the card. So I'm just getting some stamping done. Okay, so there's a beautiful piece that can go on the back. Now, I am debating on whether I would like a full sprig on this card over top of the vellum. So I do have a couple, ideas, and I'm just going to make sure I've got all the pieces for them. So I'm going to stamp this one, and I'm going to cut it out. Look at how pretty. It's just such a beautiful stamped image. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to let you have a look at the die pieces that come with the suite. This here is definitely the piece that kind of steals the show. It is beautiful. It's got lots of detail, and I have already gone ahead and I have got one sitting in here. I'll pull it out in a second. This is garden green that I have done it with. Okay, this here, and I'm going to add a little bit of other color onto there. I think it's going to look really pretty. I might bring in a little bit of mossy meadow and rub it onto the detail so you can see the detail a little bit more. This one here is the die that is going to line up, and it's going to cut this piece out. Okay, so that's going to end up cutting that out. Then there is also like a little log piece, so a little wooden piece there, and I've got that one cut out as well. I'll show it to you. You've got, I'll just leave these ones on here because I'm not going to use these ones right now. I also have a leaf that I did cut out in vellum, and I'm debating on whether to use the vellum or the green one with this card, so you guys can help me out with that. I've got this piece here that cuts the little tiny rows of circles. This one is going to cut out the other leaf image that's in the stamp set. And then we've got a little sprig and just kind of like this little hash mark that, again, you can add a little bit of texture onto a layer of the card with this piece. So it's got some interesting pieces that are in there. And then with the stamp set, I love the fact that it kind of has this little grungy piece as well as this beautiful leaf, and then that it's got a guy greeting, because we rarely have stamps that are good for like guys' birthday cards or masculine cards in general. So that's a great one. I love this greeting too. You make me smile. It's one of my favorites. And I like you lots, and a little thank you. So there's some cute greetings on this one for sure. Just having a look to see who else is joining me. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Hello, Roberta from Columbus, suburbs of Columbus. Hello, and Loretta, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to cut this piece out here, and then we are going to work at putting together a fabulous fun fold. I think you guys are going to love this. So just give me a second. I'm going to just cut this piece. It'll just take 1 minute. Let's see here. There we go. Line it up. Here's my plate. And I'm going to need a little blending brush. I'm going to grab that. Oh, I love this. It's going to look amazing. Let's grab just a little bit of a bluey color and a little bit of pretty peacock, I think. Okay. So we're going to play around with a couple colors. I might bring in pretty peacock over top of our leaves just to change the green up a little bit. So this one, look at this one, it's cut. It's so pretty. So I did a little, I didn't want to do white on the green on the white because I thought that that would look just too stark. So instead I went with soft seafoam, which I sometimes use as a base when I'm stamping greenery because it's just a warmer tone and it works well with our color palette here. Okay, so I've got that piece. I am going to pop this out and I'm going to add a little bit of blending of, I think, pretty peacock on here. We're going to see. I think it'll look good. Okay. So there is our beautiful leaf die. And I have seen this all over social media already, this leaf die. It is beautiful. And it's going to be great because you can always break the pieces apart and have two different sprigs. If you're doing something, some sort of floral, I think it'll work perfect. It is a little bit delicate, so you do have to just, I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit here. You do have to be careful. You don't want to go a whole bunch of big circles on here because you don't want to tear the leaves. So I'm just rubbing, just kind of pouncing and rubbing a little bit of pretty peacock over top of my garden green, and I'm supporting it right where the leaves come from so that I don't end up ripping them at all. Okay. And then afterwards, I'm going to do half of them, and then you can see the difference. I can see it already. See the difference between these leaves and then these ones. You can just see that detail a little bit more of all the little kind of hash marks in the leaves. And it just gives it just a little bit more texture than just plain green. Trying to remember who I saw. I was watching something last night and they cut these gorgeous, gorgeous leaves in watercolor. Look, I'm going to turn all of my, by the time I'm done, my fingernails are going to be a lovely, pretty peacock color. That's okay. But they did gorgeous watercoloring over top of these dies. Cutting this out of watercolor paper. Okay. So see how that just switches up the color a little bit, makes it a little bit richer. And I wish I had, oh, I do have. Here's a box here. This is the same color, but see the difference when I lay it over top. Now you can see the difference that little bit of shading did, right? Just adds just a little something. Okay. All right. Okay, let's create this. I'm going to put all my pieces aside, and I'm going to bring in my card base, and I'm going to do a little bit of burnishing. I wish Barb was watching because she could see I'm doing her Fun Fold challenge for our Stamp It Canadian group, which is our team page that we've got. And she is posting this month every Friday. She's giving us a little challenge to do. Look at that. Love it. This is going to pop right up just like that. It's going to be perfect. But first, before I glue it together, I'm actually going to glue down all of my pieces to the actual card. And that way, when I put it together, I won't be trying to put these strips onto something that's 3D. It's much easier to do it when it is flat. So I'm going to bring these in, and I'm going to put these back together. Let's see, like that. Yep. Okay, so I want to put them in order of our stamping, and I'm wondering if I need a little bit of pecan pie. Just, no, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for this one. I was going to add a little bit of the little bit of grunge onto there, but I think because of the vellum, I don't want this one to be all grungy. I want it just to be pretty. Okay. So I'm going to add these. Let's see how it's going to tuck in. So it's going to go across like this. So there's one. I'll just put my glue right down the center here. That'll make it easier. Like that. We're going to go 2. So pretty on the white. And then 3. Another reason why I wanted to bring in the vellum is because when you run a vellum through a texture, it burnishes it, right? And it turns the pattern like a white color. So to have the white, it would kind of all draw together, which would be really pretty. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, the next up, this whole area, this is going to go like this. Make sure that's right. Perfect. This is going to go right here. So a few months back, I did column cards, but I did, instead of this is horizontal, I did vertical ones. So it was tall, skinny versions. And I quite like this horizontal. You can put a nice focal point right in the center of here. I'm going to build my focal point right on my vellum first. And what that is going to do, I'll put it kind of over top of here. See how I love that? I love that dark around there now. But I'm going to put it over top of the vellum and glue these pieces down first. And I think I'm going to do this in behind, and then I'm going to do this over top, just so this is seen a little bit more. And then you have the greenery kind of coming in behind it. I think that's pretty. And then I can always trim this, but I want to connect these pieces on here first, because then I can hide the adhesive in behind where I put down these elements onto the vellum. Okay. I think that's quite pretty, right? Oh, you're never late, Connie. Welcome. I'm glad that you found us today. Okay, I'm going to get my glue dots, I think, and I'm going to do that for applying this onto here. So I think the vellum looks quite pretty, and I hadn't thought about using this embossing folder at first with this suite, but with the Let's just see, did that stick on there? Not quite. I need a couple more. With the way that it comes up in this direction like that, I thought it would be perfect to add some greenery. It isn't a pattern that goes all the way across, right? It just comes up from the bottom, which I thought would complement in behind these leaves quite well. Okay, let's go like that. And another one here. So I'm not using liquid glue on attaching this to the vellum because vellum is a very slippery surface. And if you add liquid glue to it, it could just smear and make a big, huge mess. And we don't want that on this beautiful card. Okay, I'm going to put that right about there, I think. Isn't that pretty on the vellum? Okay. So this, I get to attach everything to it, and there isn't a big, huge, gluey mess. Now I just have to decide how far up I want this to go, because these leaves are just kind of in the background. I might tuck that one in behind there, like that, and so that you see some of the greenery show through. I think that is quite pretty. And I'm gonna attach this piece with some mini dimensionals. I think I have some left over here. If not, I do have some in dark. I think this will work fine. I've got little black ones here. I just have my larger ones, but I think even the black ones will be fine. You won't see it through the green. And I'm going to just pop this up just a little bit. And then I do love the greenery kind of showing through. So again, I'll wrap a few of the leaves up over top once I get this all peeled and stuck down. There we go. Now, I wish I could just show you already all of the beautiful products that are coming out, but unfortunately, you have to wait just a couple more days. We're close. We're close. All this new stuff. So again, I'm weaving kind of the leaves in and about. I'm going to pull this one up and over. It's kind of fun how you can do that. So we have some greenery showing through, but yeah, the wait is almost over. I'm going to do another sneak peek tomorrow at 3 o'clock as well, and I will do another one on Monday. I'm just figuring out timing wise for Monday, as I'm going to be doing a virtual gathering with my team members tomorrow evening, and I am working during the day, so you may see me Monday. It may mean that I'm going to be going live at like 6:30 in the morning, and you can always catch the replay. That's Pacific Standard Time, so it may be okay timing for some of you. Oh, I like that. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. I think we need a beautiful natural twine right there. The linen thread, I think, is going to definitely look fantastic. That looks pretty good. Okay. So now I can add some more. I'm going to get out my tear tape because you're not going to notice. Actually, I better stick with the dots. And that way, tear tape is going to be more noticeable for sure. But what I'm doing is I'm adding glue dots, and I'm putting it in behind all of the elements that I've already put on the card. So you are going to use a couple glue dots when you're doing the vellum. Another thing that I could do is I could use liquid glue, and you may see others use it, and you use a sponge and you really thin it out really well across the surface. And then I'm just making sure I have my glue dots. Yep, I got enough in there. And then you don't notice any liquid glue blobs in behind your vellum. So you either have to use liquid and really smooth it out so it's just like a a really fine film, or hide all of your adhesives using your elements on your card and some glue dots. Okay, so let's just clear this off a little bit. I think I got a glue dot left on that one. I'm going to put it up there. Okay, looking good so far. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto here like that. Beautiful. And I can use liquid glue for this. It'll take a second to set up, but that'll be okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my work surface here, and I'm going to fold this under, and then I'm going to fold this in half. And what will happen is it'll make it so that that will stick in the perfect spot. Okay, and the column will be nice and square. And when this card is in the envelope, it will fit into a regular A2 size envelope. Okay, I love this layout, Barb. Thank you. This is amazing. Okay, now that's what we've got so far on the front. We're going to add a little bit more to it. We are going to add this onto the back because this is where you're going to actually end up putting your greeting. So now you can see why I wanted to do a little strip and a little bit of stamping so that I have something on the back of the card as well. So that's going to go onto the back. Okay, that's where we're writing our greeting. Here's our column with all our stamping. There's our beautiful greenery. Okay, now we have to do some sort of greeting or element on here. So I am going to use this little wood panel like that. And I think I'm going to attach it right here on the one column, and then it can kind of pop up like that. Yep, I think that'll work. And I'm going to put a greeting over top of this. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to add, I think, a little bit of color on to this die cut. So I'm going to grab, let's do a little brown brush. Let's do a little pecan pie. And I just want to add, again, just a little bit of blending over top, because as you can see, it brings out that texture really nicely. Sometimes it's fun to do just a different look for a card. And you'll know those that you want to give something a little bit more creative to, right? If you are giving a card to someone who is also a crafter, they are going to definitely appreciate the extra bits and pieces that you put into a card, right? We often say, it's so funny because we will be doing a class and we make a card that maybe has so many different pieces or a lot of coloring and detail to it, and I'll hear, you know, people chatting and they're like, oh, this card is definitely going to someone special. Not just anyone is getting this card. And as we say, you know, it's going to go to someone who is card worthy, is what we say, right? That's what we say here when we're creating. Oh yeah, that person's got to be card worthy. So that someone that will know and appreciate all the detail that you put into your card, right? Okay, so what do I put on here? Do we want to do To a Great Guy? We could do that one. I think that would look good. I'm wondering if this will fit onto a die cut that I was doing for my card club. I am in the middle of, behind me, if you saw, there's tables of lots of cutting and stuff going on. I am just starting, even though I can't get a hold of all the products yet until the 6th for my Sweet Bugs card club. I am already cutting and die cutting and getting all of the pre-cut pieces done that I can. So when I have the products, I can put it all together and I can get it in the mail as quick as I can. So let me see. I was using this die cut and I'm wondering if this would work. I think it will. Look at that. It's perfect. And will it go kind of in here? Oh, it's like it was meant to be. Okay, that's what we're using. The question is, what color do I want to stamp it? I'm thinking garden green. Yeah, I think I want to do it garden green. And I think I want to stamp, okay, I want to try something here. I think I want to stamp this kind of a little bit of grunginess in behind it first. But to do that, I'm going to have to be really careful and not make it very dark. Okay, so I will use this green in a second. But first, I need a scrap again. Let's just use this one. First, I am going to use the pecan pie. You can tell I'm thinking as I'm going, right? That's my process. And I'm going to stamp this off a couple times first. Okay, oh, look at that. That is fantastic. Okay, how dark is it when I stamp it the second time? That looks pretty good. And then, oop, my goodness, sorry. I'm out of control now. Okay, let's just see if that's going to be, oh yeah, that's going to be perfect. Okay, so now I know that's my little trial. Okay, now I know that I need to stamp this off once, like that. And then I'm going to stamp it onto here, over top, like that. Perfect. And then I can bring in my green. And I'm not going to drop the block this time. It's noisy when it hits the glass mat. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So if you are wondering what I've got going on in January, let me just get this. Nope, that needs to go back this way a little bit, doesn't it? There. I have pinned to the top of my page what to look for the month of January. I have got everything from in-person classes and virtual options and Zoom options for club class. So definitely check it out. I would love for you to join me. Let me see, I want a little bit of, there's my natural twine. I think this definitely needs a little natural twine. Yeah. I'm going to put this on here. Now this is going to open up and this is going to stand like this. Do I want a little bit of twine down here? I think I do. I think I want the twine right where all the greenery hits. So I think I'm good with, I might put a little bit in behind here, but I'm going to put a bow right there. Just had to make a plan of attack there. And I'm going to pop this up. There. Yep. That's what I'm going to do. But I also released, you may have seen, if there is anyone out there that happened to get the advent calendar this year from Stampin' Up. We did our first advent calendar, right? And it had 12 boxes, of course, 12 days of Christmas with little bits and pieces in each one. And there's a lot of product in the advent calendar. And if you are someone that you opened up all your boxes and then the next thing you were like, now what am I supposed to do with all this, right? Lori Bradley and I, you can either contact Lori. She has, I think, the link up already as well. But we decided to do we did a group for those. I just want to make sure this adhesive, it went too far. I got to peel it back a bit. I don't want this to glue shut when my card goes shut here. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to just peel this back a little bit. But we did a private Facebook page, and we had the 12 days of Christmas Advent calendar. We each went live and created something for each one of the days. And we had a lot of fun with our group of ladies that happened to purchase the Advent calendar from us. There we go. That's going to go right there. Ooh, it's got to go on here first. Yep, perfect. We had a lot of fun creating with them all, and we wanted to be able to offer that as a virtual class for those of you that may be a little bit stuck on what you should do with the pieces that are in your Advent calendar. So I did post that as well, and in the link in the description, you can now get a PDF, and in it is QR codes that will take you back to Lori and I going live. We downloaded all the videos from our Facebook group, and we've turned them into QR codes, so they are within the PDF. So in that PDF, you have 24 different ideas of what you can do with all the goodies in your Advent calendar. So if you need a little help, a little inspiration, we have definitely got you covered. Okay. Okay, that looks good. And then that will sit up like that. I'm liking that. And then I'm going to do a little bow down here. Okay, so that's another thing. That's a new thing that I just added. There's a few things that have been added in the last couple days for sure. So if all else fails, check out the link in the description, and it'll take you to everything that I've got current and new, all the information, all the registrations, all that sort of stuff. Whether it is virtual and you are outside of Canada and just want to join a virtual class, or whether you are in town and want to come join me in person. Either way, I love to connect with you, right? So let's put that there. Yep, that is what that needed. Okay, now do we need some embellishments on here? I am thinking yes. I'm going to actually use these. These happen to be right here in my workspace. I know that there is embellishments that came with this beautiful suite. I think they're a hexagon, if I remember right. And they're all sorts of different colors, kind of darker greens and Secret Sea. But I'm going to use this little hint of gold. I think this will be quite pretty. These are actually the embellishments, and I've got a ton of them, but they are the ones that were loose embellishments in, I think it was day 3. I think it was day 3 on the Advent calendar. The only reason why I remember that is because I just finished making the PDF for everything. So it's fresh in my mind. Otherwise, I would not remember that detail. Okay. But they have a flat edge to them, which is perfect. And they're great for shaker cards. Okay. The gold, I think, works because we also have the pecan pie, so I think it looks quite pretty. Okay. And I'm going to do a couple on here too. I'll just let those dry. Take my pick tools on the other table as I am in prep mode. There, perfect. I'll put the rest of those back. Okay, what do we think? That is quite the card. So would you check your messages for me? And I made a big mistake, send a payment for you, and it's a big one. Whew, I will check into that. I will definitely check. I have not been, I've been in prep zone the last couple hours, so I have not checked my messages. So I will definitely, I will look at that. Not to worry. Okay, Debbie and I we'll see what's going on. Okay, we can reverse that. All right, so there is our, see how that stands up? I'm just going to put it this way. See how that stands up like that? Isn't that pretty? So it stands up so that when you open it, when you take it out of your envelope, it's going to be flat like this. And then this column pops up and it can stand up nice and pretty. It's got some stamping on the column, which is nice. It's got a beautiful element here and to a great guy. And then on the back, we have got just a little bit of decoration. You could definitely stamp a little bit on the back here too, but you've got a nice white space there in which you can go ahead and you can write a greeting. Okay, but there you go. Beautiful. So I'm going to go and I'm going to post this in my Stamp It Canadian group. And like I said, I have got Barb Hogg from my team to thank for that beautiful fun fold. That was a fun one to use with this. As soon as I saw her post, it made me think of these papers and how beautiful it would look with the little leaves. I mean, you could use this fun fold for many, many different things. I could see this being a beautiful little decorative one for our little bugs. In fact, let's see if I quickly have it here. Do I? I do. Do you remember me posting this one? So this is, I'm just going to share this because it's a similar one. It's just different dimensions. Okay, so let me just show you this one too. But this here is our kind of shorter. It is our landscape card, right? This one here was by Diane Inkster, okay, and she is part of, I'm part of a Silver Sister group. We're across Canada, and we did a card swap. So you guys saw my long slimline one with the little sheep on it. That was my card in the swap. And this one here got mailed to me from Diane, and it is the same idea. In fact, it's just a little skinny column rather than a square one. So you can see, again, it's a column. Okay, and so when it stands up, it's the same like that, only it's got an element, a larger element stuck on the front of it. So you can make this type of card design in different measurements. Again, this one folds flat so that it goes into a A2 card envelope as well. It's just a vertical version, and this one is our horizontal. Okay, so that's another way you can do it. And I've done one with a thicker column with a vertical as well. Okay, so you can change up the shape of this column to whatever design you like, right? Okay. All right, everyone, I am going to head on this way. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed that little look at Nature's Walk, Nature's Symphony. I love it. There you go. There it is in a little bit more natural light there. Love green. Green is my favorite color. And I will post close-ups of this. I will also post the measurements of the card base. When I do the photo, it'll have the measurements. So it'll have the card base measurements and then the scoring details as well, so that you'll be able to create something in this design, and then you can post it in the comments. Okay. All right. So tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to share with you yet, but it will be another sneak peek of more amazing products that are coming out on January the 6th. So stay tuned. Tomorrow will be 3 p.m. as well. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. Okay. Take care, everyone. And again, check out the link because you don't want to miss on some of the deadlines that are coming up for registration. And again, if you are near and want to join in on January the 30th, if you're local to Victoria or the area, Victoria, BC, I am having a birthday party bingo bash, where we're going to do a card buffet. They're all going to be birthday cards. You get to stock up on your birthday cards, and we're going to play a little bingo, and we're going to have, of course, it's a birthday party, so there's going to be goodie bags, and we're going to eat party snacks. So if you want to join in, yeah, let me know. Okay, take care. Bye.